Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 25 deadline stream. Lots to talk about. There's obviously a double game week. There's Watkins information. There's also been a double Game Week 32 announcement today for anyone that hasn't seen it. So Newcastle and Crystal Palace are going to double in Game Week 32. We knew they were going to have a double at some point. Someone's literally just started drilling next door. We knew they were going to have a double at some point anyway. Game Week 33 is what we were thinking, but it is now Game Week 32. I'm going to have to turn the music up a sec because that drilling is going to do my head in. Hang on a sec. It's like they're right outside my room. Okay, so we're good. I don't know what my move is going to be yet. I'm pretty much going to sell Njai to Watkins, I think, and take the risk. I can do Eze to Wanyeri for free, or I can do Eze to Utara and take a hit. But I would have to do like João Pedro to Beto. Which, by the way, if I do João Pedro to Beto, that means I've done Solanke injured to Calvert-Lewin injured to Njai injured to Beto and bought 3 Everton forwards in 3 weeks. That is not how I wanted to use my all the free transfers that I stacked up. But we'll see. How many times have I listened to Phoenix in my life? Quite a lot, I would say. And I still have it on now, so I'm going to change. I'm going to put on 90s club classics and old school dance. Stephen, 82 months. Insane. Hope you're doing well. Have to bench one of Dango, Mbeumo, Isak, and Wood. I would probably bench Chris Wood, even though it's not that fun to do. Like, Utara, Southampton, Mbeumo, penalties, maybe a bit better than Wood, slightly easier fixture. And I find it hard to bench Isak even with Man City away. Ross, nothing in the back one free transfer. Robinson to Howson and Moyes to Emery -4 or Trent to Van Dijk instead. I think buying Howson seems pretty good to me. I quite like Trent up until 28, I think. Chip strategy update. There's not much of an update, I don't think. Like, you could triple captain in 32 now if you've got your assistant manager active. In terms of when to free hit and wildcard, I don't think that has really changed. The only real decision is if you were thinking about using assistant manager this week, you could now save it for 32 because you'd have back-to-back doubles, 32 and 33. The problem is when do you bench boost? And, well, that's the main reason, actually. When do you bench boost? Like, what if there's no more doubles after 33? Mbeumo, Njai to Wanyeri, Watkins -4. I really want Watkins. It's the most logical route. Selling Mbeumo for a -4 doesn't sit all that well with me, but I am considering buying Wanyeri and Watkins, so I do like those two players. Someone talk me out of Wanyeri. He's 4.5 million, playing for Arsenal, Leicester away this week. He is surely nailed at the moment. The only way that I can see Wanyeri not playing is if they play someone that's not Trossard through the middle, and they play Trossard left and Sterling right, but I just don't see that happening. And also, I think Wanyeri is probably ahead of Sterling in the pecking order, no? Slot's red card makes no difference whatsoever. It doesn't impact FPL at all. Yeah, I'm not convinced by this Moreno up front shout. I've seen a few people talk about that. I'll be taking the chance on Ethan and Odegaard. If Arsenal score, it has to come from one of those two. Well, what about Trossard? Trossard's pretty good right now. I mean, Trossard's minutes must be through the roof. He won't play midweeks as he's got school the next day. He turns 18 soon. Got 126 points and a 6k red arrow. So painful now at 20k. But you're at 20k. That's pretty nice. I'd happily be there right now. Can Slot still play this week? Yes, 100%. 100%. Wanyeri is such a non-Andy move. Here's the problem, right? If I do... Let me just show you, right? Easiest way. If I do Njai to Watkins and Eze to Utara, I can't afford Semenyo and Cliver. I think that's just a no-go. Let's say I go for Utara. I've got to free up 0.6 million. The only ways I can see of doing it are Pickford down to a 4.4 million or below goalkeeper, or João Pedro out for Beto. Oh my God. I can't buy a third. I can't buy another Everton forward, especially after the double. That would be the hit. Excuse me. That would allow me to get Utara instead of Wanyeri. Here's the thing, though. Next week, Rodgers has Chelsea at home. Beto has Man United, I think. I'd have to play one of those two. Whereas, if I go the Wanyeri route, next week I could do Rodgers to Utara. And and by the way, with João Pedro, I'm making a transfer to Njai this week so that I don't have to play João Pedro. I just don't want to play him because he might not start. But if he does start and plays well, then it's Southampton next week. So I think I'm getting Wanyeri. I think I'm buying Wanyeri. Because it still lets me get Utara for Rodgers next week if I want to. And if I don't want to make that move, I can just do João Pedro. I can just play João Pedro. And if João Pedro looks like he's not going to start against Southampton, I can just do the Rodgers to Utara move. Wanyeri is good value, but would you be rushing to get an Arsenal attacker now if they didn't have all these injuries? No, because the players, like Saka, would just be too expensive, right? Like you can frame it both ways. Arsenal will be weaker because they don't have Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, etc. But you can also look at it as a massive opportunity for some differentials. Like Wanyeri's ownership is super low. He's only 4.5 million. Like a 4.5 million attacker playing for Arsenal with Leicester away this week that has a fixture in 29. I'm tempted to do it. The one thing that worries me this week is not having a Bournemouth player against Southampton. Like, I'm just going to get destroyed, I think. Gakpo, I completely forgotten about him. There's so much going on today. I'll come to that in a second. Would you take a -4 to get Watkins in for Wood or Isak? Probably not. It's worth saying there is some risk about Watkins playing against Ipswich. Like, he trained this morning. He's going to be in the squad. We know that. It doesn't mean he definitely starts. There is some risk there. I just think I'm willing to take the risk because I'm selling Njai. If I was selling Isak, not sure I would do that for free. Struan, 10 months, thank you. -8, Moyes to Emery, Jackson to Watkins, Hall to Howson. Yeah, I quite like that. You've got issues there, obviously, with Jackson. -8 seems a bit too much, but I think for the assistant manager alone, it's probably worth it. And there's 2 upgrades elsewhere. Again, though, Watkins is not guaranteed to start. Will, 17 months, thank you. Wood and Gabriel to Watkins and a 4.5 million defender for a -8. That doesn't sound too good to me. Wood and Gabriel are both pretty good this week. Ant, 30 months, thank you. Gakpo, sell or keep. Also thought you'd roll this week. No, I don't think I'm rolling either way. I don't want to play João Pedro. There's too much risk there. If Unai Emery had said that Watkins is out for Ipswich, I would probably be doing Njai to Vissa and rolling the second transfer and just playing Eze, because Eze's available. Eze might do well this week, but I kind of want to get Watkins now. Gakpo, keep or sell. I don't know. Apparently he wasn't spotted in training today. So you might miss the Wolves game. I think if it's to Watkins, I'd take the risk and sell him. The thing is, there is a scenario where Gakpo starts and Watkins doesn't. But if it's Gakpo to Watkins, I think I would do it. If it's Gakpo to a single game weeker, I think I'd risk it and just keep him. Amma to Utara for a -4, a good option. I'm not sure I would take the hit, but I also don't mind it because you get the Southampton game. Moyes and Jai and Fernandez to Emery, Utara and Watkins. Yeah, that sounds quite nice to me, honestly. I'd probably do it. I mean, obviously, if you don't do the Njai move, who are you playing instead? That's obviously something to consider, but I quite like that. Is this worth a -8? The hits are flying already. Moyes and Njai and Gakpo or Isak out. Emery, Beto and Watkins. No, I don't think I'd take a -8 for it. No, I don't really like the sound of that. You could just do the Moyes and Njai move for a -4, I think. Abby, 18 months, thank you. Gakpo, Murphy, start one. You got to start Gakpo. There's no way I would captain Watkins. There's too much risk about a start. Trossard for minutes or Wanyeri for the vibes as a Gordon replacement. I think objectively, Trossard is probably the better pick. Like, his minutes are probably better. Like, guaranteed to be better. Like, Trossard's probably Arsenal's most senior attacker right now. Like, for the front three. I know obviously Odegaard's there. But for the value, Wanyeri 4.5 could be pretty incredible. He could also just not be very good. Like, we don't yet know how good he's going to be. But, you know, that's the risk you take. Like, it's the risk you take, and it's 4.5 million. So, set your expectations correctly. Any news on Konza? He's out, I think. And I have Gap. I don't know how long he's out for, though. I have Gakpo, Isak, and Wood. Which one do I bench? I would probably bench Chris Wood out of those. 3 free transfers. Moyes to Emery. João Pedro to Watkins, funded by Bruno. Just don't know who to sell Bruno to. 4.8 remaining. Already got Kluivert. Probably Nwaneri. The Nwaneri hype train starts right now. I have Gakpo and Ahmad in my team start bench one. If you've got Gakpo, for the most part, I would probably just start him. People are posting a clip on Twitter where Slot doesn't mention Gakpo as being unavailable. He just says Gomez and Morton, and then at the end mentions he's got a knock. Yeah, because I think he asks... There's someone else there, obviously, from Liverpool, and he asks if he's missed anyone. They say Gakpo, and then he says he's got a knock. That's why he had to take him off. So there's obviously something there. By the way, I don't think it's a case that Gakpo is definitely out of the Wolves game. That's why for most people, if you're keeping him, I would definitely play him. Ahmad or Jimenez... Jimenez, home to Forest. Man United are... I should really know this. I can't remember. My head's fried from today, if I'm completely honest. A lot going on. 25. I was going to play some Call of Duty this afternoon. Instead, I had to make another... So I shouldn't say had to make another video. That's not how it felt like. I made another video. Spurs away. I go Jimenez, I think. Although I think by the fact you say Ahmad will play in the 10 for sure, I'm sure means you probably want to play Ahmad, in which case do it. It's quite a close call. Jorge, how's it going? I'm 1.8 million. I wanted to get aggressive. Rodgers and Njai for Mateta and Utara for a hit. There is no way I would take Morgan Rodgers with a double out for a hit. That makes no sense to me whatsoever, whatever your rank is. Isak to Watkins for free, or Gakpo to Watkins for a -4. It's a little bit annoying because we don't know if Gakpo's going to start, right? You could argue Gakpo's got the Villa game is better than Man City anyway, but he's not on penalties. I guess I probably have to go Isak, but I'm really not sure about Gakpo. Yeah, that did say that. Yeah, I know. I had to. I'd already worked. I'd already done one video. Now I'm deadline streaming. Anyway. The sound hasn't gone down. You might have just muted yourself. I take it back. I take it back what I said. Gakpo to Watkins for a -4. I've already sold Isak for Mateta and Vissa, which cost a -8. Oh, wow. Gakpo to Watkins... Oh, do you know what, actually? The previous question was Gakpo to Watkins -4. It's a really tricky one, right? Because the information we have is that Gakpo's a doubt and Watkins is in the squad, but Watkins is still a doubt as well. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd rather have Watkins. So maybe the -4 pays it back, but it is risky. Let me just tell you that. Rashford I'd ignore Rashford. See, with Watkins available, potentially, he's going to play 9. You have Rodgers behind. Like Rashford off the left, possibly, but you got players like Ramsey there, who I think's fit. I think Rashford's minutes are just not going to be good enough in the double. Gakpo to Trossard and Moyes to slot -4. Yes, I do like selling Gakpo to get slot. Marlon and Dizazi for Ahmad and Castagna for a -4. I guess that goes down as a don't hate it. Presumably Dizazi will have to play, although Mings has also trained. So Mings could be back now as well. Martinelli for Nwaneri or Trossard or Villa for the double game week. I'd probably buy Rodgers, I think, especially if you've got enough transfers to manage the next few weeks as well. Otherwise, I think Trossard is better than Nwaneri if the money doesn't matter. Who am I? I'm going to bench João Pedro. This will be the team, basically. This will be the team. But I've got to change it back because I'll get loads of questions about why I'm starting Njai. If you get Watkins, you will have 6 players blanking in 29. But we've still got game weeks 26, 27, 28, and 29. Hang on, will I, though? Wait, if you get Watkins, you'll have 6 players blanking. So I'll have Trent, Salah. I won't have Eze because I'll sell him. Rodgers, Watkins. That's it, innit? Oh, Isak, 5. Yeah, 5 players blanking because I'm selling Isak. Selling Eze. And I mean, bearing in mind that Njai's literally injured, so he's no good for me anyway. I mean, essentially, Njai's blanking in 29 as it stands. Because he's not going to be fit. I've done Moyes to Emery, 1 free transfer left. Would you do Isak to Watkins or Sarr to Nwaneri to get funds? And if so, would you do either Wood or Gakpo to Watkins? Man, these are some tricky questions. I wouldn't force Isak out, honestly. I think Sarto Wanyeri for funds probably sounds better. I don't think you can sell Gakpo instead of Wood. That's my gut feeling, even though it could massively backfire. I didn't school Statman Dave, though. He beat me. Oh, if I buy Beto, I will bench Beto. Yeah, 100%. But either João Pedro is getting benched or his replacement is getting benched. Sales. Should I start Dango from my bench? I would start Utara ahead of Chris Wood, I think. That's for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not saying the rest. Gakpo for Mateta and Robinson for Van Dijk for a -4. Don't know. These questions are too difficult. Can we have some easy ones? Someone asked me whether they should play Utara or Njai this week. I can answer that. I mean, you're free hit 29, right? So getting Mateta, I think that's what you said just a minute ago. So getting Mateta's not so bad. I don't hate that. If I had to guess, I think Watkins has got more chance of starting the first game of 25 than Gakpo as it stands. Slightly. I don't know if that helps. Like, if I was doing a prediction for the Liverpool team, I would probably not include Gakpo in it. Because Nunez is fit, Jota's been on the bench last couple of games, Diaz is fit as well. There's no need to risk Gakpo. So I think whatever move you're considering, I think there's a high-ish chance that Gakpo doesn't start in 25. But I can't be 100% sure about that, unfortunately. Because Slot didn't go ahead and say no, he's definitely out. He just said he's a doubt. So you can't say for absolute sure. It's my life. Bench 1, Wood, Gakpo, Isak, Mbeumo, Kluivert, probably Chris Wood. Trent news. There is no Trent news. He wasn't mentioned in the press conference, but I think that's just a good thing. The game is on Sunday, yeah. This is what I mean. I can't rule him out 100%, right? I don't know. I'm only going based off the information we've got. And for different teams, it'll be a different... It'll be like some people, it's going to make sense to keep Gakpo and play, and for some people, it's going to make sense to sell him. Yeah, Gakpo to Watkins for free, I quite like, but it's a similar conversation to Gakpo, right? If I was doing a prediction, I would have Watkins to start and Gakpo not to start, but it could be the other way around. But I think based on the information we've got, that's probably the way that I would go. When am I bringing Chilwell in? Maybe on wildcard 30 or 31 if he's playing regularly ahead of Mitchell, which I'm not all that convinced about, but you never know. Got the keys. I took a hit to get Watkins from Gakpo. Nice, hopefully it goes well. The most realistic scenario is Watkins plays around 60 minutes with Ipswich and 90 with Liverpool. Gakpo around 30 minutes with Wolves, or 0 if Slot plays it safe, and 75 to 90 against Villa. Yeah, I'd go along with that. I think the big difference is, with Aston Villa, Duran's not there anymore. So if you don't play Watkins, you've got to play someone like Rashford or Marlon up front. And like Marlon might do fine. And I think he probably is next in line for that number 9 spot now. But it's not the same, right? Whereas if you don't play Gakpo, you've got like Diaz and Nunez. It's probably fine against Wolves at home. Okay, let me see where we are at right now. Well, I did that one already, I think. Bench 1, Wood, Gakpo, Isak, and Mbeumo, Kluivert. Wood, I think. I think I already did that. Carrying on from my last question, I got 1 million tied up in Chris Wood. Would you still do Wood to Watkins? I think I genuinely, right, I was thinking about this earlier. Maybe I'm just not the person to talk about Chris Wood. I've got it wrong so many times this season. Like, as a non-owner, I've got zero interest in buying him anytime soon. Maybe 29, but I think there's more chance that I just buy Cunha before that. And so therefore, if I don't have any interest in buying him, then surely he's okay to sell. But I'm not sat there with 1 million tied up in him, right? The key question is, are you going to want him back? Possibly in 29, but there's other forwards with good fixtures that week. And then 30 onwards, it'll really depend on whether he doubles. If he doesn't double, like, put it this way, whether people are ready to accept it or not, Haaland is going to come back into the conversation later on this season. So that's one forward spot taken up. If Isak doubles in 32 and then even if he doesn't double again, right, you're going to want Isak for 32. So you're going to want Haaland, Isak. You've only got one more spot. It may not be Chris Wood. So there is a chance if you sell him, you just don't buy him back for the rest of the season, or at least not for a long time. And if other people are thinking like that, they'll sell him too and his price will come down a bit. I don't think Chris Wood is going to continue to be on the rise in terms of price, but I've got it wrong with him so many times this season. So honestly, I feel like I shouldn't even be allowed to talk about him. Genuinely, right? I was at the gym earlier and I was thinking about Chris Wood. I was thinking, this is what goes through my head about FPL when I'm not doing videos. I was like, have I just got it massively wrong, or is he just overperforming? Like, am I being so stubborn with Chris Wood that I can't actually objectively think about him as an option? Or am I just analysing him like I do everyone else, and it just so happens that this is the guy that's on the hot streak? I don't know at this point. Like, I'm so confused by it all. But I look at him the same as everyone else, stats, fixtures. I don't think Chris Wood is essential right now, but he's just scored a freaking hat-trick and he could do it again. Who knows? Like, he's in the previous 9, like, all this talk about him, maybe he's just clinical and stuff like that. In the previous 9 seasons, he scored 68 goals from 66.5 XG. So basically, he scores at a rate of the XG he gets. This season, he's doubling his XG. It cannot last, but it doesn't mean it's going to stop right away. Anyway, I've talked enough about Chris Wood. Sell him if you got the bottle for it. Thinking of wildcard for 5 subs, or should I hold? I really probably wouldn't wildcard now. The only thing I can say is that wildcard's going to be super useful later on. Hub is telling me Bruno, Konza, João Pedro to Luka Dean, Otara, Watkins -8. I quite like that. And I quite like it even if you go Mateta and Clivert, but I'm not sure I would buy Luka Dean, just in case Maatsen plays. I'd maybe look at maybe Howson or something like that instead. Sell Palmer to fund Watkins. No, he's got Southampton and Leicester at home soon. On -4, Palmer that is. On -4, should I do Bruno and Gakpo to Otara and Watkins for a -12? Wait, what? Oh, you're on a -4 already. I maybe. A -8 for Otara and Watkins over Bruno Gakpo. I'm not completely convinced by that one, I've got to be honest. Van Dijk worth getting given the upcoming fixtures. I think the next 4 game weeks are pretty good for him, so yes. Obviously, blanks in 29. Lewis Hall replacement for 4.6 or under to fund João Pedro to Vissa. Alex, 25 months. Howson is probably who I would buy. I think I would ignore Villa defence. Is there any other defenders I'm missing? Don't think so. Maybe. Njai and Isak to Watkins and Vissa -4 or Ahmad to Rodgers. Or selling Isak. If you're like me and you haven't got much money wrapped up in Isak, I'd be tempted to do it. But here's one thing to say. You're definitely going to want Isak back by game week 32. And a lot of people just aren't going to sell him. So I don't know how much his price is going to drop. So if you've got a lot of money wrapped up in it might be difficult to get him back. But I think Watkins and Vissa is better this week for sure. Start Wood or in Burmo. When do you think your wild card? Probably 30 or 31. Like, honestly, I think game week 30 or 31 wildcard for me is pretty much locked in now. I can't see any reason for me not to do it. Like, I'm going to sell Eze. That only leaves me with Isak, Salah and Trent for game week 29 that are going to blank. And Rodgers, sorry. So I've only got 4 players to deal with. And Newcastle doubling in 32. So I've got to get 3, and the double's pretty good. So I've got to get 3 Newcastle players by 32. But also in 31, they play Leicester away. So I'm going to want those Newcastle players for that week. So I think 31 is the latest. Oh, I am buying Watkins, sorry. Either way, right, it's going to be 30 or 31. You're right, though. I am buying another Blanca. Forgive me. My head's all over the place. One free transfer. With, 18 months, by the way, Aris. Thank you. One free transfer with Gakpo a doubt. Should I just play Ahmad and roll or get a single game week forward? I'd just play Gakpo. I think there's got to be a chance he plays the second game anyway, so you think you take the risk that you get minutes in the first one. Wood is the main man on penalties, 5 months of data now. But does 5 months of data surpass like the previous 9 seasons? Like, is he all of a sudden become as good a finisher as Messi after 9 seasons of not? Or is he just on a hot streak? And by the way, that's not me saying that's definitely correct, but that's what's going through my head. Probably going to do Njai to Beto. Should I do Eze to Kluivert, Lewis Hall to someone, or stick my last transfer? Don't know who's best for Hall, though. I think you can keep Hall for now, especially if you can bench him. Eze to Kluivert's fine, but Eze's probably going to start this week. You could even roll in your position, honestly, but I don't mind Eze to Kluivert because Kluivert's going to be super useful right up until 29 and maybe even beyond. Chaz, 28 months. Thank you. Sar, Gakpo, Moyes. Sar, Gakpo, Moyes to Utara, Cunha slot. Bench Cunha. Yeah, especially if that's for free. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. I think Cunha's going to be really popular in the next few weeks. Also, I'm starting to get worried about how I'm not going to be able to afford Bournemouth players later on. Anyway, that's nothing to do with what you've said. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Chris Wood and Ahmad to Beto and Kluivert for free. No, I don't think I would do that. No, I think you can keep Chris Wood in that situation. Assistant manager Villa this week or Crystal Palace on game week 32. I think if I haven't activated my assistant manager yet, I'd be a little bit tempted to save it. Especially if you've got your triple. I think I'd rather triple captain this week. An assistant manager later if I've got both chips left. Fernandez and Njai to Wanyeri and Watkins, or Fernandez and Njai to João Pedro to Utara, Watkins better. Yeah, that's exactly the same decision that I've got. Right now, I'm leaning towards not taking the hit, but I think either is fine. Bruno to Mberma and Lewis Hall to Gabriel, or should I get Kirker's house? I think Gabriel is better if you can afford it. Due to work, moved Moyes to Emery last night. Already have Gakpo as my third Liverpool. Should I just do Gakpo to Watkins for a -4? Yeah, I think Gakpo to Watkins for a -4 is okay, but just keep in mind it's not a guarantee that Gakpo is going to miss out, and it's not a guarantee that Watkins will start. Buy Pep next week if they are 6th or below. Possibly. Let's discuss that next week. I'm actually not sure at all what I'm going to do with Slot. I might just keep him and not use a transfer. Njai, Hall, Gordon to Kirkes, Kluivert, Beto for a -4. That sounds pretty good to me. I also like Howson for less money than Kirkes, by the way. When would you get Haaland and how would you get him? Salah or Palmer to Haaland in 29, basically. Yeah, as a non-Liverpool fan, I also don't think Gakpo starts, but there is a chance, I guess is what I'm saying. Like a small chance. Thoughts on Kluivert's baby TikTok? I've not seen it. I suspect Kluivert will be fine, though. Wanyeri or Otara, sorry, for Murphy. I think I'd definitely go Bournemouth midfielder over Wanyeri if you can afford it. The only reason I'm looking at Wanyeri is money. Trossard versus Wanyeri stats. I looked at Wanyeri stats earlier. They weren't amazing. I think Trossard is probably better. Like, I really think there's no overthinking here. Trossard is definitely the better pick out of him or Wanyeri. Like, I really don't think there's a debate about that. The only reason you look at Wanyeri is for money purposes. The FPL website appears to be slow, 1.7 hours before the deadline. Yeah, I don't think the FPL website's gone down for a while, so I wouldn't have too many concerns. Is assistant manager 5 teams between the 2 teams, or 5 if counting? Wait, what? Is assistant manager 5 teams between the 2 teams, or 5 if counting them? Sorry for the bat. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what you mean. 5 teams between the 2 teams, or 5 if counting them. Yeah, I'm not sure. You're gonna have to reword that, and I'll try and work it out. Don't take a -52. That is good advice. Yeah. Joshua, 50 months. Massive. How's it going? Good, thank you. Hope it is for you too. Play Gakpo or Njai. Play Gakpo or Njai to Wood and play Wood. I just play Gakpo. I don't think anyone can say that Wanyeri is much better than Trossard. Like, we just do not have enough information to go on at all. Like, we have a lot of seasons for Trossard in the Premier League, and he's pretty decent. Trossard's stats actually not that great. Trust me, go and look at Wanyeri's. They're no better. But, again, it's early days. He's young. He might end up being amazing. Those numbers can increase. He might go and smash it against Leicester. I hope he does, because I'm probably going to buy him. SR, put it this way. If I had the money and it didn't impact any other decision and I could get Trossard instead of Wanyeri, I definitely would. Worth a hit to get a non-injured guy on the bench. I wouldn't take a hit to upgrade my bench. Probably no. P, thank you. Moyes to Emery for free. Or sell Gakpo and do Moyes to Slot for a hit. I think Slot's better than Emery this week. So I'd be tempted to take the hit. If it also improves your team for the future by buying a better forward. Sajib, new member, thank you. Thoughts on Bruno to Tara and Njai to Watkins for -4? Love it. I think if you're doing Isak to Watkins, you should be cautious. If you're doing Gakpo to Watkins, you should be cautious, but less so maybe, because of the doubt. If you're doing Njai to Watkins, you probably shouldn't be cautious at all. Trossard's a very overrated FPL choice this week. But in what context? Like, if you think that Bournemouth midfielders are better than Trossard, that's absolutely fine. I'd probably agree. But if we're talking Trossard versus Wanyeri, I really don't think there's much debate. He means spaces between teams in the table. Oh, okay. So is assistant manager 5? Okay, yeah. So if a team's in 16th, then you've got 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th. So it's 5 up like that. So if Man City are in 6th place, Pep Guardiola would get table bonus against Liverpool in 1st place. That makes sense. Am I tempted to get Haaland in game week 29? Yes. I really want Haaland in 29, to be honest. Like, he would be my captain, I think. Unless I want to captain Bruno Fernandes. You never know. What if I captain Rodgers instead of Salah? Your thoughts on this madness? That sounds pretty mad to me. By the way, with a click of the button, I can stream. I've set up a Twitch channel, so I can stream on Twitch at the same time. I don't really know why, why I would want to stream on Twitch, but I set it up so that I can stream there and here. I don't know if there's anyone that prefers Twitch to YouTube. Let me just log out of here. I also forgot to click the button or tell anyone that I have a channel over there, but that's beside the point. Let me see here. Let me go to channel. I'm going to click the button and just see what happens. See if anyone tunes in without me telling them. I'm not even going to tell people what the channel name is. Oh, I'm not moving to Twitch. For sure. You don't even know what Twitch is. That's fair enough. Oh, I didn't... Let me just change this sec. I'm always worried about clicking the wrong button. Okay. Oh, someone got in first. Someone's found it already. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. I'll just leave it on and see who tunes in. Bench one of Chris Wood, Isak, Visser, Palmer, and Burmo. Ooh. I'd probably bench Visser ahead of Wood. That makes sense. You only watch bathtub streams on Twitch. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think I'll be getting into the bath on one of these anytime soon. Martinelli, Cliver, and Isak. Oh, sorry. Martinelli to Cliver and Isak to Watkins -4 just for one. I'd probably just do Martinelli to Cliver. Sheriff, 40 months. Thank you. Used triple captain last week. Worth activating assistant manager on Emery this week or keep until later. Still have bench boost. If you don't like Emery, then I'd leave it and just hope that there's space to bench boost later on. Mr. Few Super Chats, you're probably right there. Let me just have a quick look here. One free transfer. Odegaard to Mbeumo. I don't think I would sell Odegaard before Leicester. Elanga to a Bournemouth midfielder. Or Njai to Visser. I'd probably do Njai to Visser, I think. If you can... So if you're benching whoever you don't sell out of Njai to Elanga, then I'd probably do Elanga to the Bournemouth midfielder. But if you have to play all of them, I'd do Njai to Visser, right? On assistant 1.5 coming back to get Isak back, put 10 points behind top spot in my league who has Rodgers and Isak. He used triple captain already, so do I just match for now? 10 points is nothing. There's loads of game weeks to go. I really wouldn't worry about matching and stuff like that. I can't remember what you originally said. That it was about selling Isak, right? There's so many. Yeah, I think you can sell him if you want. I wouldn't worry about matching, though. Just do whatever you think is going to get the most points. 10 points is nothing. There's so many weeks left. Where am I? Iraola to Emery for a hit. Wood is probably playing a better team this year than previous years. But he hasn't got better stats. That's the point. He's got a better goal ratio to XG, but he doesn't have. He's not outputting better expected stats. If anything, I think he's. No, he might not be down, actually. I haven't checked that. But anyway, Iraola to Emery for a hit. Bournemouth away to Southampton. No table bonus. Why did you go for Iraola in the first place? What was the plan? If the original plan was to take the hit, I would just do it. I'd probably rather have the double game week, yeah. Bench one of Wood, Isak, Visser, Palmer, and Mbeumo. Visser, I did that one already, didn't I? Sorry, I skipped a few. Got 3 Liverpool, Trent, Mo, Gakpo, and Moyes. Need to take a hit to get any other manager. What is your thought on Gakpo to Yeah, I would do that, I think. If you've got Gakpo and you need to move Moyes, I would get Slot. Miss my super chat, or am I just deaf? Yeah, well, I'm not saying you are deaf, but you did miss my answer. I said I wouldn't take a hit if it's just to upgrade a bench player. Who to bench? Gakpo, Wood, Semenyo. Wood, I think, out of those. Is this officially your first stream on this channel on Twitch? Yes. It also said the bit... On my stream, it's saying on Twitch the bit rate's really bad, but it should be pretty good, I think. But Twitch is a bit rubbish in terms of... I can't remember whatever stuff it's called. First time on YouTube listening on the pod. The stream looks so good. Thank you. I've actually already got plans to upgrade the stream a little bit next year. There's a couple of things I want to change that I think will make it better. I also want to get the ticker back, but it means I've got to make the FPL screen smaller. Like, for people watching, especially people that are watching on phone, like, how readable is that? Or does that just look terrible? Like the FPL screen, how big it is. Does it matter? Because if I could have it that big, I could bring the ticker back across the bottom. Am I reading Twitch chat live at the same time as YouTube? It's pretty difficult to read both of them, to be honest with you. There must be something out there where I can merge the two. Yeah, that's the problem. On mobile, it's rubbish, right? On a phone, it's tiny, can't read much anyway. It's fine, looks bad even on laptop. You can just about make it out. Yeah, basically, FPL, they changed the UI when they updated... You know, like you've got the card around the player now and stuff like that. They changed it so that it has to be... Basically, I've got to have it like this so it's visible, which means it blocks off the space for the ticker at the bottom. I don't know. Even when I had a ticker, like no one actually read it anyway. Important to keep up to date with Twitch bits and shout-outs. Yeah, no, I get it. It's difficult, though. Trust me, like trying to do both of them. Vertical ticker. I don't know if that would work very well. Cancel assistant manager and play triple captain. You can only cancel the assistant manager if you haven't already selected a manager. If you have, you can't. I was waiting for this stream on the FIFA channel. So do you know what? I've got like analysis paralysis. My other channel on Twitch for gaming, I've had time to stream this week, but I just don't know what to stream. I don't want to play FIFA. I'm not very good at like Call of Duty and stuff, but they're the games I like playing. Anyway, that's not a discussion for right now. Wait, can I just pop out both chats? Oh, I can. I need to merge the two, though. That would be good. It's just like, it's very confusing. There must be a Chrome Firefox extension that'll let you change the size of the font for specific areas on a web page. Possibly. I could look into it. Yeah, I could definitely look into it. Bench one, Wood, Foden, or Palmer. Chris, who have Man City got? Why can't I remember who they've got? Oh, Newcastle at home, of course. Isak. I think I would bench Chris Wood. Oh, God. Chris Wood's going to smash it again. Please don't come back to me when he does. Have Isak, Gakpo, and Jai worth a -4 in Jai to Vissa or Cunha just to have bench cover for Gakpo. Now, I'd probably ride it with Castagna and Mikalenko. Castagna's fine. Member for 10 months more, thank you. Play Gakpo or transfer Mateta. I'd probably just play Gakpo, but I don't mind bringing in Mateta. Just bear in mind he blanks in 29. Gakpo to Vissa for a -4 to afford slot or release more funds by Sarr to Utara and get Cunha. No, I'd probably just get Vissa. Sell Wood for Watkins. Don't want to sell Mateta. Yeah. I have Clive. Who would you bring in as a second midfielder, Semenyo or Utara? I think I'd just take Utara in the short term, playing number 9. I think long term, Semenyo is the better pick. But if you think you're going to wildcard like 30 or 31, I would just take Utara. Ahmad to Clive or Roll. I think Ahmad to Clive, it's a pretty good move. Thoughts on benching Wood versus Vissa? I'd go for the penalty taker and just play Wood. Need some help. Mateta to Watkins and Moyes to Emery. Mateta to Watkins and Moyes to Emery. Or Gakpo to Watkins and Moyes. I think slot. Start Hall or Konza. Konza's out, I think, so probably got to be Lewis Hall. Is Konza out for the second game? Is Ahmad to Clive worth it for a hit? I'm not sure that is worth a hit necessarily. The thing is, it's one of those moves that if you don't do it and Clive smashes Southampton, you're like, well, what an idiot. Why didn't I just get him at Southampton? I'm not sure the hit is worth it, but I also don't mind it. He means if there are 3 teams between the 2 teams when assistant manager is involved, for instance, are Villa and Chelsea currently 5 teams apart? I would suggest not. No, it's got to be 5. It's 5 above. So if you're in 15th place, you get, it's like 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 10 and above is table bonus. I've got to count because otherwise I get it wrong. And I don't want to get it wrong. That'd be a nightmare. Do-do-do-do-do. My computer's going quite slow. Bum, bum, bum. Why is... Okay, sorry, I'm back. Gakpo to Cunha to get slot for a -4 or go to Emery and do Sarr to Utara. I would probably just get slot, honestly. Have I seen the double game week announcement? I've made a video on it. I've made a video on it and all. Three free transfers. Gakpo to Watkins, Moyes to slot, or Gordon to Semenyo, Moyes to Emery, and hope Gakpo starts. I think I would just do the Gakpo to slot, I think. I think it's kind of set up quite nicely for you. Right, I already feel like the Twitch experiment might be over. It's too distracting looking at 2 different streams. Gakpo and Moyes to Cunha and slot. -4 can bench Cunha. Yeah, again, I quite like it. I quite like the Gakpo to slot option. Do I think Timber is a risk with White back? Possibly, but they could play Ben White right back, Timber left back, right? It's possible. FIFA career, I don't think I've got it. FIFA I can't play. It's too frustrating. Thoughts on the best 3 forwards to have in the near future? Probably Watkins. I mean, it's going to change week to week, right? I think if you sell Isak to Watkins, that's fine. But next week, I'd probably rather have Isak. But overall, in the next couple of weeks, probably Cunha, Watkins, Mateta's pretty good until 29. Weird narrative this week where it was expected that all Moyes owners were going to Emery. I'm personally going to slot. I think it kind of made sense, right? Like, and personally, I don't think it makes much sense to sell the Liverpool player this week instead of last week. Obviously, Moyes won out in the end, but it was very close to not happening. I think if you've got Gakpo, then yeah, sure, you go to slot, right? But if you're selling like Van Dijk or Trent, I'm not sure that makes as much sense this week as it would have done next week. Will Liverpool double again? It's unlikely, but not impossible. Red cards don't make any difference for assistant manager. What are your Bournemouth players? Where are they? You just don't have them. I'm probably going to buy Wanieri instead, which will definitely be terrible. Maybe Wanieri will take penalties off Odegaard for no reason whatsoever. Could happen. Doodaloo. Doodaloo. Would you start Howson or Robinson? I'd probably just start. It's close, that one, actually, but I'd probably go Howson for the Southampton game. I'm 0.1 million away from doing Martinez to Trossard. Do I just go Wanieri for a punt? I would probably buy a Bournemouth midfielder. Like, I like Wanieri, but I don't like him that much. I do think he should mostly be nailed, though, right now. I just can't see him not playing. I think for Wanieri to come out of the team, you need 2 players back. Because I think Wanieri's ahead of Sterling. I could be wrong. Maybe Arteta will pull something crazy out of the bag. And I don't think Wanieri's all of a sudden going to be a 90-minute man. I already have Rodgers and Kluivert. Yeah, but you could just buy a second Bournemouth midfielder. Honestly, I'd rather have Utara or Semenyo than Wanieri. Which Bournemouth midfielder would you buy first this week? Probably Kluivert for the penalties. But I don't mind. Like, in the short term, I quite like Utara. Long term, I think if I'm free hitting 29, I'd rather buy Semenyo than Utara. If I'm wildcarding 30 or 31, I think I'd take a punt on the guy playing number 9, which is Utara. Is wildcard 29 a viable strategy in order to save my free hit and not take lots of hits? Someone briefly mentioned wildcard 29 to me earlier. I don't like it. Because so the idea would be to have a first 11 that's really good for 29, but also builds for the future. And obviously you would have 3 Newcastle players on the bench. The problem is you're likely to want 1 or 2 Crystal Palace players as well. Now, you might look at the double in 32 and say that Man City away and Newcastle away is not very good, and I would agree with you. But in 30, they got Southampton away, and in 31, it's Brighton at home. So as a combination, 30 to 32, I think Palace players are actually pretty good, especially attackers. But you can't bench more than 3 players, right? Or, like, you're not going to wildcard and go in with 9 players. It just doesn't make any sense. So then you're using transfers to get Palace players. Also, we won't know who's definitely blanking in 34 until game week 30. So if you wildcard in 29, you're doing it without the FA Cup semi-final information. Now, if the quarterfinals of the FA Cup are really easy to call, maybe you can just do it off that. But I don't think the upsides for 29 outweigh the upsides of just doing it in 30 or 31. I just don't think there's enough information. I think you probably will want 1 or 2 Palace players. Maybe, anyway. It's not a guarantee you'll want Palace players. But I think you might want 1 or 2. Have any players actually missed a game because they've had a baby? I don't know. Probably. Sell Gakpo for a -4 worth it. If so, who? If maybe to Watkins. Otherwise, I'd probably just play him. Start Sells or Pickford. Away to Fulham. Probably Sells. Is it worth playing Rodgers if I have to bench Wood, Gakpo, Palmer, Kluivert, and Mariza? If you've got Rodgers, you've got to play him. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't. I'd play him over Chris Wood, I think. Enjoying in Burma to Watkins and Dango or Wanieri for a -4, and if so, which out of... I definitely get Utara over Wanieri. In Burma out for a -4 doesn't sit all that well for me, but I like the fact you're upgrading Njai, so it probably works out overall. Which Bournemouth... Oh, I did that one. Oh, Bruno to Utara and João Pedro to Watkins for a -4. Yeah, I quite like that. I think I did the rest. Konza injured. Use my free transfer on Emery. Colwell and Davis, my awful bench options. Konza to Howson, -4, or even Konza and Isak to Howson and Watkins. I'm not sure I'd do the -4 for Isak. Colwell's... You could just play Colwell, right? probably just play Carwell. Otherwise, Howson's quite nice this week. The bench isn't great, but Brighton away. I don't see a Chelsea clean sheet, but you never know. Am I targeting a second Villa play? Yeah, I'm probably going to buy Watkins, I think. Do I think Gakpo plays? My gut feeling would be that he's probably benched for... sorry, that he doesn't start the first game. Benched or not in the squad, I don't know. It depends how bad the injury is. I just don't see any need to risk him. You know what I'm saying? Asensio and Rashford, no interest. I just don't know if the minutes are going to be there. I think you've got to be pretty sure about the Villa player you're bringing in because they're going to have to go again in 29. And if you're free hitting, they're just not that great long term anyway. You haven't mentioned Cunha. We've talked about him quite a lot. Cunha in and ready for good fixtures and 29 instead of Gakpo and slot in for free. Yeah, again, Gakpo to slot I quite like. Updates on Ollie Watkins. He trained this morning. Apparently he's in the squad. Is Gakpo likely to play Wolves? I would say unlikely. Sarr to any Bournemouth midfielder for a -4. If you've got no good bench options, then yes. But Sarr is available, by the way. He probably will start. Not a guarantee, but there is definitely a chance. Trying to weigh up Arsenal smashing Leicester or Bournemouth smashing Southampton. I think it's probably quite close, but I just think Bournemouth players are better than Nwaneri. Yeah. Simple as that. Well, I was just looking something up then. I can't remember what it was. Oh, Crystal Palace, yeah. How likely Trent and or Gakpo start both games? I think Trent's got a good chance because he's fit. Bradley still hasn't started a game when Trent's been fully fit. So as long as there was no issues from the last game, I'm hoping he starts twice. Gakpo, I think, less likely. It's not a guarantee that Trent will start both, but I think there's a good chance. What do you think of a -4 Gakpo for Watkins? Yeah, I think it's okay. I just worry about, I picture a world where it backfires. Like, put it this way, if Watkins doesn't start against Ipswich, it is a bit of a disaster taking the -4 for him. Because the second game is Liverpool away. It's Liverpool at home. But it's still a bit of a disaster. But I think Watkins will start. That's my gut feeling. 1 free transfer, no Villa, but good squad overall. I think it's fine if you got no Villa, by the way. It's not end of the world. Thoughts on the best chip strategy if you have everything left except assistant manager chip? Triple captain this week, I'd say, and then the rest of it will depend on your team. So either free hit 29, wildcard 35, or just wildcard 30, 31, free hit 34, probably. Same as the last few weeks. Gakpo and Moyes slot Vissa for a -4. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Slot to Emery. No, I wouldn't. There's no chance I would sell Slot this week. That does not seem worth a transfer. Would you do Wood and Hall to Watkins and Howson for a -4? Or would you play Wood and Castagna instead? I'd be a little bit tempted to do it and take the risk. What do you think about Asensio? Is he a good FPL option? I don't think so, no. Like, is he even guaranteed to start? I just don't think he is. That's the problem, right? Nick gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Lucas, thank you. Furious Johnson got the... Got it. Not sure who to bench out of Vissa, Alanga, or Utara. Alanga for me, I think. No question. Triple captain Salah or get rid of Gakpo and use assistant manager on slot. Or keep Gakpo and use assistant manager on someone else. I'd be tempted to triple captain Salah, I think. There's no guarantee that assistant manager will be better later on, but I think there is a chance it will be. And so I'd probably take that risk. I made the silly mistake of doing Moyes to Emery yesterday. Is it worth doing Gakpo and Palmer for Watkins and Diaz? I would not sell Palmer. I really think everyone's just going to want Palmer back soon who sold him. Like, Southampton at home, Leicester, like, you can't have better back-to-back single game weeks. But literally, this season, I don't think you can get better back-to-back single game weeks than Southampton and Leicester at home. I did Moyes to Emery early, then did Gakpo and Hall to Watkins and Greaves. Nice. Hopefully that works out. 1 free transfer, sell Gakpo for another forward or just start João Pedro next to Isak. I would just start Gakpo. I wouldn't start João Pedro ahead of Gakpo. No chance. Start Vandenberg or Castagna. Castagna, for sure. Just don't trust the Brentford defence at all. Buy Kirkes or Gabriel. Probably Gabriel, if you can afford it. Is Marn unlikely to feature in both games? Probably starting the first up front. I mean, he will if Watkins doesn't start, probably, but it's too risky. There's not a guaranteed double in 36. Should I wait with assistant manager? I mean, there's going to be back-to-back double now in 32 and 33. So you could potentially use it then. But 33 is also likely to be the best bench boost week. There might be another double later on you can use the bench boost in, but it's not guaranteed. Arne Slot's red card has no effect whatsoever on FPL. Doesn't matter at all, so don't panic about it. Don't get minus points. He's not suspended, etc., etc. Emery or slot in this week if you've not used your assistant managership slot. Triple captain 24. Is there a better time to use assistant manager than now? 32, 33, back-to-back doubles potentially. 32 and 33. Gakpo to Vissa for -4. I'd probably just keep Gakpo. I think the only player I would sell Gakpo for a -4 to is Watkins, probably. How many hits is appropriate for this double game week? Depends who you need to sell. For some people, none. For some people, 8, -12. Sarr to Utara for a -4. I think Sarr will start, so I don't think you need to do that, but I don't mind it. Callum, 38 months, thank you. Assistant manager in play. When is the next best to triple captain? Probably 32 on Isak. Now we know that's confirmed. But it might be that you get to 32 and then you know there's a better double coming up later, in which case you can just delay it. But right now on paper, 32 is probably best. Benching dilemma. One of Trent, Canate, Gabriel, Kirkes. Well, you ain't benching the double game week players, right? I would always play Gabriel, I think, in most cases. So I'd bench Kirkes, even though it probably feels horrible. Thoughts on Nkunku with Jackson out? I'm not convinced by Nkunku. I think you wait. Like, worst case scenario, Nkunku smashes it this week and next week, and you just buy him before Southampton and Leicester at home. But there is obviously a chance that he just doesn't... just doesn't play at all. Like, Maresca said in his press conference that he's not a number 9, that he's an attacking midfielder, and that he's a solution to their number 9 problem, but he's not the solution necessarily. So he didn't really put too much confidence in that Nkunku will come straight in and just play. He might do, but it's just too much risk there to bother buying him this week, I think. Scott's, thank you. Can't wait to get the 1.5 back from Slot. Yeah, me as well. The money would be good. Rodgers in for Dibbling -4. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Do we build castles in the sky? Where do I move from Unai Emery in 26? We'll talk about that in Game Week 26. I'm not really sure right now. You got Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's got table bonus against Brentford. You got Arteta against West Ham at home, probably what I would look at. Back to Moyes. Everton have got Man United at home. It's not a table bonus game, though. I don't think. Njai to Vissa or Watkins to Isak or both. Free. Njai to Vissa, yes. Isak to Watkins. Maybe. I think it's sort of worth the risk, but just keep in mind it is a bit of a risk. Ipswich have got Spurs, right? Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't see that as it's certainly not a dead cert Ipswich win. Eze to Kluivert to complete the Bournemouth triple up. Yeah, I don't mind it, but I think Eze's fine this week. I'm only selling him because I want to get Watkins. I think he's the best option to sell. I don't want to sell in Burmo. How do I make Isak work? I've got Kluivert, Palmer, and Burma, Rogers, and Salah, and Visser and Gakpo. You probably just play Isak ahead of Visser, I'd say. Bruno, João Pedro for Watkins, Semenyo, no hits, love it. Moyes to Emery, Gakpo to Watkins, Eze to Wanyeri or Utara. I'd get Utara. The rest sounds fine, yeah. If Everton lose and Man United win, it could be table bonus. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Samuel, I missed your super chat apparently. Enjoy to Vissa or Gordon to Bruno. I did, thank you. Or Bruno Semenyo for a -4. I would just do Njai to Visser, I think. Njai, Odegaard to Watkins, Utara. Don't hate it, but selling Odegaard before Leicester doesn't feel great. But you're getting a double game weeker and you're getting Utara for Southampton, so I really don't mind it. Gabriel and Wood to Watkins and Luka Dean, a good one. No, I don't think so. Selling Gabriel for Luka Dean doesn't sound great to me. He might not even start both of those games. Gordon to Kluivert or Fernandes to Diaz. I'd rather have Diaz this week than Kluivert, put it that way. Maybe both if you've got 2 free transfers. Marco, 11 months, thank you. I might actually bench Palmer between him, Visser and Gordon. Fair enough. If that's what you want to do, you should go for it. Keeping Slot next week or moving on. Undecided. Is it viable to keep Slot for 26? Yes. Am I signing Watkins? Yes. Any chance Trossard will fall in price by 0.1 in the next hour? Probably not. Would you buy Kluivert over Murphy? Yes, but then I cannot afford Emery over Moyes. Nah, you should probably get Emery. One way or another. Apparently I missed another super chat. I'm terrible today, Matt. Oh, you just winding me up. Oh, no. Gakpo, Bruno, Lewis Hall to Watkins, Wanyeri, Van Dijk, -12. I'm not convinced by that. Maybe. You're basically getting one extra fixture for a -12. I mean, Hall's not going to get a clean sheet, right? Maybe. It sounds horrible, though, a -12. Took a minus for Colwill to Munoz, Ahmad to Utara, and then Jai to Visser. Would you play Munoz for Robinson and Rao to Visser? I'd play Munoz over Robinson, yes. I would play Jimenez over Visser, probably, yeah. The freezer, 21 months. Ahmad Gakpo to Utara, Watkins for free and bench Wood. Or Gakpo to Watkins, bench Ahmad. Start Wood. Or Ahmad to Kluivert for free, bench Wood. Oh, my God. I would just keep Gap. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I would just do Gakpo to Watkins, bench Ahmad, and start Chris Wood, I think. If I've read that correctly. Utara or Alanga. Utara for sure, like 100%. João Pedro and Mbermo to Watkins and Wanyeri. Yes, don't mind that. By the way, I don't love selling Mbermo, but I think people that want to get Watkins, I don't hate it. Bruno to Kluivert, Trossard or roll. I'd probably just roll. If Newcastle beat City this week, then Pep versus Liverpool at home becomes table bonus. Yeah, and that might be interesting. I might be tempted to switch if that happens. But I don't know if Newcastle beat City, to be honest. Who to start out of? Ahmad, Wood, Robinson, Aina. Chris Wood. Got to start Chris Wood out of them. Great job on the 606 podcast, thank you. Chris S being rather sicko fancy. The other two rambling, you were good. No, oh yeah, I was rubbish on that. I don't think they were rambling at all. How can you forget 1987 Coventry City? I was born then, but I'm telling you now, I didn't watch that match. Basically, once the obvious teams were gone, and once Man United's opponents in the finals were gone, I started struggling a little bit. I think I got Millwall, Wigan, and Newcastle. I think Man United played all three of them in the FA Cup final. I think was it Man United versus Wigan? I think it was. Was it Wigan in the FA Cup final? I might be wrong. Or did someone else beat Wigan? I'm not sure. Anyway, once I got past them, I started struggling a little bit. And then I was thinking, okay, well, which teams did well in the 90s, like early 90s? That's why I picked Blackburn. Obviously, that was wrong. And other like Sheffield Wednesday came up, and oh, it was Man City. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I thought it was Man United. Anyway, I knew Millwall. Yeah, that killed me, that did. I hate losing. Who does that have? Ahmad Wood. Oh, yeah, Wood. Enjoy to Watkins for a -4. Yes. 8 out, probably going to free hit 29. Is 3 Villa important? No. 3? No, I don't think many people will have 3 this week. Moyes to Emery or Moyes to Slot and Trent to Kirkes. I'd just do Moyes to Emery in that case. I don't think I would sell Trent for a -4. I think with Gakpo you can kind of justify it because he's potentially going to miss the first game, whereas I think Trent will play. So thinking bench boost. Benches Sells, Visser, Matsraoui and Anderson. I don't hate it, but if you've already used some of your chips and you're likely to wildcard in 30-31, you probably just set up for the bench boost then. Gakpo's not definitely out, no. Every chance he plays still. Would you risk Konza or play Mikalenko? Would I risk Konza or play Mikalenko? I think Konza's out, right? Yeah, I guess he could be back, but it's Liverpool, right? I would just play. I would just play Mikalenko. I wouldn't take a -4. If Gakpo's out for the Wolves game, play Wood. I'd probably just play Gakpo and hope. There is a chance he could play, right? Or come off the bench. I don't know if there's a chance that Konza could be back for the second game, but if he is, it's Liverpool. I still have triple captain and assistant manager. Should I use one of the chips this week? I probably would, yeah. Especially if you've still got bench boost left. I quite like the idea of triple captaining this week. If you've still got it left, like on Salah. It could be huge again. Would you swap Gordon for Kluivert? I would if I had a free transfer. What's my rank goal for the rest of the season? I don't know. Top 50k probably. Top 20k would be really nice. Haven't done that for a little while. I don't know. I feel like I've just stagnated a lot over the last. I think like 5 or 6 weeks I've been around 200k. It's just a bit. It's not really going anywhere fast. Maybe Nathan Wanieri. Is it Nathan Wanieri? What's his first? No, sorry, Nathan. It's Ethan, isn't it? God, I hate doing things live. It's so much easier when you can just stop and re-record. Maybe Nathan Wanieri will fire me into the top 100k. Probably not, though. Which manager? I mean, if you can get Slot, I would get Slot over Emery. But if not, I think Emery's fine. He might do a Moyes. Kulusevski out for Semenyo, Kluivert or Utara. I'd probably get Kluivert. I think short term, I like Kluivert, Utara, Semenyo. Long term, I think Semenyo might be the best. But we're talking quite long term. I think a lot of people will wildcard before that's even a worry. Is Gakpo to Watkins for free worth it? It might be, but there is some risk there. That's all I can really say. Bench Wood or in Burmo? Wood, I think, but it is quite close. Is Nathan Wanieri worth a hit? Probably not. Do you think it's worth transferring Damsgaard to Wanieri for a -4? Probably not. Nathan Ranieri and Darren Noodles. That's the ones. Has Rob T made projections? He has, yeah. I'm super late. You've probably already talked about this. What do you think about Asensio? I'm not interested at all. I just think it's too risky. There's no like unless I've got it wrong. If there's Aston Villa fans in the chat, let me know. But I just don't think there's any guarantee that he plays. Or any guarantee that he starts. I don't know. I couldn't have any less interest in him, I don't think. Thoughts on whether we will get news before the deadline so that I know if I can sleep or not. What news are you looking for? Start Colwill or Anderson? Anderson. I'm so... Hang on, let me see this. I'm so glad manager red cards don't affect the chip. I was panicking last week. Yeah, as a slot owner, I'm also quite happy about that. -8 Foden to Trossard and Moyes to Emery. Can't do a single move. Oh, because you need to free up funds. Yeah, I would take a hit to get Emery over Moyes. I mean, Foden could be nice soon, though. Should I start Robinson or Aina or Kukurea? Robinson, I think, out of those. Any news on Gakpo? He's a doubt. That is the news. Like, bearing in mind it's a Friday deadline, so unless you're looking for Brighton Chelsea news, you're not going to get much more than what we've got right now. And there's almost never leaks for Brighton or Chelsea. When am I making my moves? Yeah, I'm probably going to get Wanyeri and Watkins, I think. I'm fairly decided on that. I think. Do you know what's really put... I don't know. The more I make content, the more I realise that it does play on my mind when I'm making transfers. I think if I didn't have to stream or make videos for the rest of the season, I would just get Wanyeri, because at the end of the day, if I get him and it goes wrong, who cares? But I just know that so many people have at least one Bournemouth midfielder. It's going to kill me. Like, not having them before Southampton, it's just... Like, Southampton just aren't going to do me a favour. They're going to get absolutely smashed. But I just don't know if I want to take the -4. I haven't taken a hit all season. I just don't know if it's worth it. Martinez to Marlon, I wouldn't take a -4 for Marlon. Even if I would sell Martinez, but not to Marlon. I played triple captain on Salah last game. I also have Konate and Trent. Am I best to now activate assistant manager on Emery or sell a Liverpool player? I'd go Emery, yeah. Yeah, I would get Emery. I think those 3 Liverpool players are good. I'm free hitting. Should I play Isak or Haaland? I would definitely go Haaland. I wouldn't free hit, but if you've already activated it, it's too late. But yeah, Haaland for sure. Like, why would you not? It's okay to not have any Villa players yet. I've taken a hit every week in 70k. The thumbs up emoji is so passive aggressive, honestly. On Twitter, right, if someone says something to me and they put a thumbs up at the end, I mute them straight away. I hate it. Like, if it's one of those, like, glad to help, muted straight away. No questions. Whoever it is. If you'd not taken a hit every week, you might be 65k. You never know. Bench one of Amad Alanga or Beto. I would probably bench... I'd be tempted to bench Alanga, but I think it's close between... I'd play Beto, I think. Might be on penalties. Would you do... Yeah, that was obviously coming, but this isn't Twitter, so... would you do Lewis to a former defender and Emery, or Gakpo out for Visser and Moyes to slot? I'll get slot. Just do what you feel is right. You've been right many times. Everyone bought in Bruno after talking so much rubbish. Yeah, no, I think... Honestly, I think Wanyeri is fine to not take a hit. Like, I think eventually I'll get 1 or 2 Bournemouth midfielders. I just won't have them for Southampton, which is kind of a killer. I hate it. Does not wind, like, the smallest things like wind me up sometimes. It's like you say something and like, no, it's actually this. Glad to help. Like, oh, you absolutely, like, just get out of here. Get out of here. What do you think about selling Lewis Hall and buying Luca Dean? Luca Dean will probably start, but can I guarantee he starts twice? No. He probably does. And if he does, he's great, but... Like, Luca Dean is probably pretty nice for the double if he starts both, but it's just still that slight risk where he gets subbed early. The cry laugh emoji. I do use the laughing and crying emojis quite a lot, so I can't yeah, I can't do it. What do you think about selling Lewis Hall? Oh, I did that one, thoughts on Gordon to Rodgers? Like it. Gakpo for Jota or Nunez? I wouldn't risk either. I would not risk either. I mean, if I had to, I'd say Nunez, because Jota just hasn't started a game since game week 7 because of fitness. I don't know if he's fully fit yet. Villavan here. Asensio would be lucky to start 1 game. Glad to help. Thanks, Harry. Thank you. No, you can definitely give the stream a thumbs up. That's not so passive. I don't mind that. Give the stream a like. Really, I should just not use Twitter as much as I do, to be honest. That would just be best all round. That would be best for everyone, probably. Life would probably be better. Can't send a super chat. Anyone else have this issue? I don't think so. What do you need to... the thing is, you signed up for membership. I wouldn't worry about sending super chats. honestly. Assistant manager now, triple captain Salah. My gut instinct is I would triple captain Salah and hope that later on it'd be better for assistant manager. Jota will want to start against his old club Sunday. Sure, but what he wants to do and what slot chooses are different things, right? The reality is Jota can't stay fit and he hasn't started a game since game week 7 in the league. Now, he might be fine. Or they might just play Nunez and Diaz on the left. Bench one of Palmer, Elanga, Ahmad or Isak. It's Ahmad or Elanga. It's close. Maybe Ahmad with the way Man United are playing right now. Would I rather play Fulham away than Spurs away? I'm not so sure. Harry, thank you. Gakpo and Moyes to Beto and Slot for a -4 or Moyes to Emery. Beto's fine. Can you not get anyone better than that, though? I still probably get Slot, I think. Although, if Emery's free, I'd maybe just get Emery. But if you can get someone better for the -4, like with Visser, that would be good. Although Beto's fine. Bruno to Wanyeri and João Pedro to Watkins for a -4, or Bruno to Kluivert and Colwell to Kirkes for a -4. If I bring in Wanyeri, will I start him often? I'll probably start him in game week 26. Beyond that, I'm not sure. 29, I suppose. I think I like the Bruno to Wanyeri one better for you. I think. Playing Lewis Hall's not great. I wouldn't do Cole to Kirkes for a -4, I don't think. Sell Elanga to Utara to bench Njai. Sell Elanga to Utara to bench Njai, or Njai to Visser to bench Elanga, or start Elanga and roll. I like Elanga to Utara, I think, and deal with Njai later on. See, I can't do the same. Like, if Watkins wasn't an option, I'd probably do Eze to a Bournemouth midfielder and Njai to Visser and bench João Pedro. When do Arsenal play? Oh, it's the early kickoff tomorrow, isn't it? I'll be able to watch that, I expect. Be able to watch Wanyeri at 12:30 tomorrow. Watch him. I've also gone for Arsenal in last man standing as well. It was between Villa and Arsenal for me. I wasn't sure. I went Arsenal. Bogard from Aston Villa. He's getting minutes. I don't even know how much he is, to be honest. 4 million. I just wouldn't bother. Thing is, they blank in 29. Like, he's cheap, so if it really works out, could be helpful, but I'm not sure I would go there. Like they've got Dizazi now. Mings could be back soon. I just wouldn't bother doing it. It just doesn't seem worth the risk. Callum, how's it going? My current trip strategy would be assistant manager in play, free hit 29, triple captain 32, wildcard 35, bench boost 36. Does that sound rubbish or not? Doesn't sound rubbish. The only slight problem might be if there's no doubles in 36. It's not a guarantee, but there also could be. I don't know for sure. I have Gakpo. Anyone at his price range, I've got 0.7 in the bank, so no upgrade to Watkins, or should I hold? I'd probably just hold in that case. If you're going to sell him, I'd probably go Visser or Mateta. If you're free hit 29, I actually quite like getting Mateta, to be honest. Gordon to Rodgers or Kluivert. I'd probably go Rodgers if you've got the transfers to deal with it later. If not, just go Bournemouth. Would you sell in Burma to get Watkins and keep Isak, or sell Isak? Oh, that's tough. If you're not free hit 29, I'd be tempted more to sell Isak, but it might not be that fun. Foden and Jaita, Utara, Watkins, Emery, or Foden, Gakpo, Sarr to Utara, Kluivert, Watkins, Slot. I like the Slot one, for sure, especially if it's not too many hits. Wood to Watkins -4 is a tough call, to be honest. I think if it was me, I'd probably do it because I'd want that double game week player, but there is a lot of risk there. I mean, Watkins might not even be on penalties anymore. He misses so many. Utara for Enzo for -4, got Kluivert with free transfer. Yeah, if you're having to play Enzo, I'd rather have Utara for sure. I think it'd be worth the hit. Utara, Watkins in for Gordon, Gakpo done. Emery or Slot for Moyes for a hit. Do you value table bonus over assistant manager transfer flexibility? I'm not sure what the transfer flexibility has to do with the table bonus, but I'm probably missing something. I'd rather have Slot than Emery. All things similar. I just think Liverpool will be favourites to beat Villa. They almost beat Everton. Villa are absolutely capable of getting a result for sure, but I in isolation, I'd rather have Slot than Emery. Like just them versus each other, no other factors considered. Would you do a -4 for one of Castagna, Konza, Vandenberg to who? Kirkett. No, I probably wouldn't. Just play Castagna. I think that's fine. Get Mateta or Cunha for Gakpo to get Slot in. I think Mateta's better next 4, but if you're not free hit 29, Cunha's probably the better longer term option. Bench 1, Wood, Visser, Mbeumo, Isak, Visser, I think. Bruno to Bournemouth midfielder and Gakpo to Watkins for a hit or just risk Gakpo. I'd be tempted just to risk Gakpo. Enzo to Wanyeri could be decent. Bench 1, Chris Wood, Mbeumo, Gakpo, Utara. Probably Wood from those. It's going to be annoying if Gakpo misses the first game though. Isak to Watkins -4. Oh, I really don't. I'm not super confident about that. I'm not saying don't do it, but I can't sit here and tell you that's an amazing move. And not, like, I don't think it's a no-brainer move. Wood. Play Munoz or Ahmad. Probably Ahmad, but it's quite close. I mean, Munoz could get like a goal and a clean sheet against Everton. Although Beto is the best forward in the league right now, so never know. Isak or Gakpo to Watkins or keep both. I guess you've got to sell the injury doubt. Even though it doesn't feel great. At least with Isak, you know he's going to keep playing. Play Wanyeri or Visser. Feels wrong to bench Wanyeri. Yeah, that's tough. I'd probably play Wanyeri just because it's the Leicester game. I have a feeling Palmer will blank against Brighton. He might do, yeah. When am I going to make my transfers? Sometime in the next 36 minutes and 45 seconds. Or I guess 36 minutes and 30 seconds because I don't want to leave it too late. That'd be a nightmare. Am I selling Diaz to free up a slot? Are you selling Diaz to free up a spot for Slot or just taking Emery? Probably just taking Emery. Like, Diaz should be pretty good right now with doubts around Gakpo. Thoughts on Trossard as the number 9? He's a decent option, for sure. Like, he's pretty nailed at the moment. Would be from -4 for Gakpo to Mateta, then would only have Salah and Slot. Yeah, but if Gakpo's not going to play, he's no good, right? Put it this way. I think if it's Gakpo to a single game week player, I'd probably lean more towards just risking him. Yosef, I missed your super chat. Potentially. Isak or Gakpo to Watkins or keep both. No, I didn't miss it. I said I'd probably sell the guy that's a doubt if you have to sell. But I honestly think you can just keep. Oh, I don't know. If I had Gakpo, what would I do? I think if I had Gakpo, I'd probably sell to Watkins. But I don't like telling other people to do it because there is risk there. Rodgers, Mateta or Clive at one transfer, no Villa. Clive, I think. Clive's going to be pretty good for a few weeks now. Diaz wasn't good at all the last game. I sold him a week ago to get Slot. And he outscored. Yeah, fair enough. But like Diaz is still a good option, I think. I'm so relaxed ahead of the deadline. Did Ahmad to Clive. Nice. Snowboarding. Enjoy. What if you can't afford Gakpo to Watkins? Just keep Gakpo. The thing is, let's say Gakpo gets minutes off the bench and then plays against Villa. It's not that bad, right? Gakpo's a maybe for Wolves. Yeah, he's a doubt for Wolves. Watkins, 16 points versus Ipswich versus Isak's blank versus City will haunt many of you. Let's see. Peak FPL when Bournemouth don't score versus Southampton. I think it's very unlikely that Bournemouth don't score, but it is reminding me a little bit of Brentford versus Spurs last week when Spurs went and got a clean sheet. But I don't think Southampton are as capable. Should I triple captain Salah or wait for the Isak double? Nah, I triple captain Salah right now. Even if you, let's say you could guarantee that Salah was going to play 180 minutes this double and Isak was definitely going to play 180 minutes next one, it's still Salah for me. And the thing is, if you delay it and then you get to 32 and Isak's injured, it doesn't look quite so good. Like, if you're not playing any other chip this week and you've got triple captain, I cannot see any reason not to use it on Salah. Unless someone can give me a good reason. If Gakpo's not in training, I can't even see him making the bench. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'd probably lean more towards selling him, especially if it's for Watkins. If it's for a single game weeker, it's a bit trickier. I don't know what I would do. I think if it's Gakpo to Watkins or Gakpo to free up a spot for slot, I definitely do it. Gakpo to Visser, Gakpo to Mateta, I'm a little bit less sure. Gakpo to Darwin. The thing is, even if Darwin starts this week, does he definitely start the next one? Put it this way, I'd rather take a punt on Nunez than Jota right now. Bench 1, Isak and Burmo, Semenyo or Visser? Visser. Ahmad to Wanyeri to bench Gordon or roll and play Gordon 2-3 transfers. Interesting dilemma that. I think I'd be tempted just to roll. Should I triple cap? Oh, I did that one. I'm gonna have to pee. I hate to say it. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. If I don't go now, I'm gonna have to do it close to the deadline. I might be in the middle of making my transfers. I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm back. I'm back. I've not been kidnapped. 10 minutes additional time at the end of the stream. Sure, why not? Hope you're well. Bench 1, Gakpo, Palmer or Mateta. Definitely not Palmer. Thing is, if Gakpo misses out completely, then probably Mateta. I'd play Mateta. I think if it was me, I'd risk Gakpo. Hands wash, definitely, yeah. Watkins not that appealing. No guarantee he plays 90 versus Ipswich, then it's Liverpool and blank. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not essential. FPL, I like it. I see what you did there. 30 minutes until the deadline. Is Gakpo to slot worth a -8? Like, if you're going to have to take a hit to get Emery anyway, probably. I would be tempted to sell Gakpo to slot, yeah. Even if it's for an additional -4. It would help if all the other striker options weren't rubbish. Yes. It doesn't feel like the greatest week to have to buy a forward. Triple captain Salah or activate assistant manager on slot with a -4. I think I would triple captain Salah and hope for the best. Take a hit for Ahmad to Kluivert or Utara. Maybe. I wouldn't argue against you doing it, put it that way. Gakpo, Gordon to Watkins, Rodgers, any Bournemouth midfielder. Yeah, like it. I quite like Rodgers this week, to be honest, but as a longer term pick, Bournemouth midfielder is pretty good. I find Bournemouth really hard. Like, maybe I should do some like outtakes one day. When I'm recording videos, I find Bournemouth really like difficult to say in a sentence. It's not like I find the word hard to say, but it just doesn't come out properly. Like, if I say it slowly and I'm just saying, yeah, I'm just talking now about Bournemouth, then Bournemouth. But when I'm saying like, oh, if you need a Bournemouth midfielder, it sounds much. It's much more difficult to say. There's some words like they just don't come out right when I'm recording. I have to stop and then go back and say something else instead. And Bournemouth is one of them. Like, I need to slow down to say it. Ramsey is a Villa differential to Rodgers. Sure, but I mean, Rodgers is the one, really. Like, Ramsey should start, but I think minutes-wise, Rodgers is definitely right up there. Villa got a lot of games. Apparently, Villa tried to get the Liverpool game moved, by the way. Imagine if that had happened. Imagine if we're going into this deadline knowing there's a double in 32 and the Liverpool game's called off. That would have been madness. That's not happened, by the way. The Premier League said no, they've got to play it. So it is definitely a double. Yeah, Pep. I don't think there's any point in talking too much about manager for 26 based on potential table bonus that might not happen. Like, sure, if Pep has table bonus against Liverpool, I'll strongly consider it, but he also just might not, and then I don't need to worry about it. Any news on Gordon and Watkins? Gordon should be fine. Watkins is trained and will be in the squad. Sticking with Gakpo, we'll be back next week and blame you alone if it doesn't pay off. I'll say this. I think Gakpo probably doesn't start against Wolves. I think the reason why I think the Gakpo discussion is difficult is because we don't know how injured he is. If we knew that Gakpo was going to play no minutes against Wolves, then I'd be way more tempted to move him to a single game week player that would definitely play, because if he definitely misses Wolves, he may well not start against Villa as well. But there is a chance that Gakpo could be on the bench, come off the bench, and then play against Villa. That's where the problem is. That's why it's a difficult one. He won't win or draw anyway. No need to think about it. I'd take a punt on Pep with table bonus against Slot, I think. Newcastle might have table bonus versus Forest next week. If they do, I'll probably move to Eddie Howe. I'm up for some table bonus, put it that way. Just not David Moyes last week. I wish I'd gone there, though. I wish I'd gone there. I'd have... If I'd gone for Moyes last week, I'd have Van Dijk now instead of Anderson. And I guess I'd have Unai Emery. Maybe I wouldn't be that happy about it. I probably would be because I'd be up on points. Yeah. I'd have Watkins. Yeah. Oh, it's so annoying. If I'd gone Moyes, I'd be up on points. And I'd have Rodgers, Watkins, and Emery this week. And... how much is... oh, do you know what I've just realised? Oh, no, because I'd have Van Dijk, wouldn't I? Yeah, I'd have Van Dijk. Yeah, ignore that. I was going to say I'd have the money to get Utara instead of Wanyeri, but that wouldn't be the case. Shouldn't worry about what's gone, even though we always do it. Laughable to think that City lose to Newcastle and then beat Liverpool. It can happen. Like, why couldn't it happen? That's like saying laughable that Liverpool beat Bournemouth and then didn't beat Everton, right? It's football. If I was buying an Aston Villa defender for the double, I guess I would take a risk on Luka Dean, but honestly, I'd probably ignore. Dizazi will probably start both, but he won't play in 26. Have 0.6 invested in Isak. Is it worth Watkins for no hit? I'd be tempted to hold him. The more money you've got, you are going to... the thing is with Isak is you're definitely going to want him back as long as he can stay fit. 100%. He's got a double in 32. He's going to be the most popular captain. I'd be careful about selling with that much money wrapped up. I don't know how much he's going to drop in price. That's the problem. Selling Isak and buy Watkins. Yeah, I've just spoken about that. Pickford to Martinez. Or selling Lewis Hall by Luke. I wouldn't buy Luka Dean. I think I'd rather go Pickford to Martinez than Isak to Watkins. But remember that Martinez blanks in 29. Bench one, Mikolenko, Munoz, Nico. Is that like Nico Williams? Colwell. I'd probably bench Colwell. Bench Gakpo, Wood, or Mbermo. Probably Chris Wood. If you're going to keep Gakpo, I think you play him. Went Gordon to Bowen this week. How bad is the move? I quite like Bowen. I just don't like that he plays Arsenal away next week. But outside of that, the fixtures are pretty good. Gordon to Kluivert and Gakpo to Watkins -4. Could work out nicely. 1 million in the bank. Watkins for Isak. Any other double players? Rodgers. Probably the only other one I would look at. Any info on Ahmad? Nope. Not that I've seen. Should be fine, right? Don't see why I wouldn't play. Oh, there is... hang on. There is one thing from Man United, though. Ruben Amorim said that there's a player that's ill, but didn't say who it was. So maybe it's Ahmad, but we don't know. Maybe it's Bruno. Currently having Burmo first bench with Gakpo minutes uncertain. Would you be tempted to start? I think if you're keeping Gakpo, you just start him and you hope for the best. Who's likely to start over Gakpo? Nunez, I would guess. How long we got left? 24 minutes. I have to do my transfer soon. Still keen on a hit to do João Pedro to Watkins and Pickford to Sarr to afford it. It's 2 transfers and a hit just to get Watkins. I've got a whole million in Isak. Honestly, I don't mind making moves to hold Isak. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Which of Utara, Semenyo, or Clivert is best? I'd probably buy Clivert this week. I think I would just take the penalties. Why didn't you swap Slot for Emery? Why would I do that? Bruno or... Oh, okay. Thanks very much, Andy. Cunha or Delap? Cunha. Matsurawi to Howson or in Burma and Jai to... Probably just Matsurawi to Howson, I think. I don't know, that you need to... The thing is, if you don't do the -4 for Njai this week, can you deal with it another week? If you can, you could just wait on it. Like, Njai's not a must-sell this week, if you can put out a good attack without him. If you pick two besides Watkins in free hit, would you choose, and who is better, Gabriel? I'd pick Gabriel over Timber. For Villa, I'd probably pick Rodgers and Martinez in goal. Like, if I was free hitting this week, I'd go Martinez, Rodgers, Watkins, Salah, Diaz, Trent, probably, without having thought about it too much. And if you want to go Van Dijk over Diaz, that works too. If I was you, I'd rather do Mikalenko to Luka Dean rather than the Eze transfer. That doesn't sound good to me. Howson or Kirkez? I would just save the money and get Howson, but if money's no object, Kirkez is better. It's a bit like Anderson versus Robinson from a few weeks ago, and look what's happened there. Robinson's kind of smashed him a bit. Slot for Emery because you can get another Liverpool player and table points. It's still kind of pointless though. It means I've got to use 2 transfers. Just when I've already got... there's other stuff to do, right? I've got João Pedro and Njai up front. You messed up with no triple captain. Thanks very much. I'm glad you reminded me because I would never have figured it out on my own. Valdemarson or Pickford? Flecken's back, so probably Pickford. Would you do Fernandez and Njai to Rodgers, Kluivert and Visser Wood? Yes. Probably Visser and Rodgers if you got the chances to deal with him later, otherwise Kluivert. Best replacement for Njai when Watkins is too much. Cunha, well, Mateta if you're free hit 29, otherwise maybe Cunha, but I'd probably go Visser. Bruno to João Pedro. Bruno, João Pedro to Watkins, Utara, or Bruno, João Pedro, Gakpo to Watkins, Kluivert, Visser, no hits. I quite like that second one, honestly. Yeah, if it's no hits, Watkins, Kluivert, Visser sounds pretty good. Play Raul Jimenez or Gordon. I think I'll go Raul Jimenez. Better fixture and penalties. I mean, Gordon could absolutely do well against City. Kanji's also out now for 8 to 10 weeks. The City defence just gets worse, but probably Jimenez. Using your triple captain this week, I've already wasted mine. I got a lovely 6 points against Haaland for 2 XG against Southampton. Not pointless if you get point. Honestly, using 2 transfers to switch slot to Emery makes 0 sense, in my opinion. Especially for my team. When I'm sat there with João Pedro and Njai. Like I could do slot to Emery and then like Eze to Diaz, but I don't think it's that great. Also, Liverpool are going to blank in 20. Liverpool do have Southampton and Newcastle at home soon, so triple Liverpool could be good, but I don't think it's going to be a big miss. And if Gakpo gets fit, then the minutes between Nunez, Jota, Gakpo, and Diaz start to get a bit muddied anyway. And I've just sold Van Dijk to get slot, so I'm not going to reverse that just to get Emery. Like if I was going to get Unai Emery this week, I would have just got David Moyes last week. It's not that I think Emery's bad. I think it's a bad decision to go slot to Emery, basically. Rahul, thank you. Ahmad Sarr for Kluivert, Utara -4. Yeah, I quite like that. Double Bournemouth. Start Isak or Mbermo. I think Isak. I don't think you can bench him. Triple captain or assistant manager this week. I need 2 transfers to get slot in. I'd probably triple captain. Would you rather do Wood to Watkins for a -4 or get a Villa defender for free? I'd probably do the -4. Who is table bonus manager this week? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked. Unai. Well, it's Unai Emery, isn't it? He's got the double. Otherwise, Fulham versus Forest, Marco Silva should be table bonus. I haven't really looked, is the honest answer. Yeah, I think your two options are probably Marco Silva versus Forest or just get Unai Emery. I don't see why you wouldn't go for the double, personally. I mean, Leicester versus Arsenal as well, but that seems mad to do that. Southampton versus Bournemouth. Still not sure if Watkins is worth a hit and 2 less transfers further on, including keeper transfers. Minutes could even be limited at 60. Yeah, true. But also, João Pedro just might not be an option anymore, right? Would you go Darwin on a free hit? I'd be a little bit tempted, but there's no guarantee he starts this game or the next one. I think he probably will start against Wolves, but Villa, I don't know. I think I'd play it safer and get Diaz personally, but you could do that. Chatelian, thank you. I've still got Slot, yeah. Already done Moyes to Emery, Gakpo, Gordon, Cole to Watkins, Utara, Kanate -4. That sounds pretty nice. Or keep Gordon, Utara, and Njai to Mateta. No, I like the first one. Watkins, Utara, and Kanate. That sounds pretty nice to me. You can't use assistant managership and triple captain at the same time. Can you not use anything yet? Only use the... Yeah, you can't use 2 chips at the same time. Correct. Can you not use anything yet? Only use the free hit and wild card. I'm not sure what the second part of that means, if I'm honest. I don't know. I think Nunez could start the first game. Yeah, I can sell João Pedro next week for Cunha and start Rao this week. Yeah, that seems fine. Honestly, like a hit for Watkins is risky. You know that. Like Watkins really relies on starting against Ipswich. If he doesn't start that game, it's a disaster, especially for a -4. Like, I'm a little bit less worried because I'm selling Njai. He's not going to play. João Pedro might not play either. The risk is very much less for me. And selling Eze seems okay as well. For you, it's a bit different. Like, Raul Jimenez is going to start. He's on penalties. What week do you have planned for wildcard? Probably 30 or 31. I think that's almost certain for me now. I don't see me being able to go any other way. Pick one of Howson, Gabriel, Visser, Isak to bench. Howson. Bench one out of Palmer, Mbermo, and Cliver. Mbermo. With 1 free transfer, would you do Bruno to Utara? I've got Semenyo. I'd probably just hold Bruno, but I think if you want to go to Utara, it's fine. But for now, I'd just hold Bruno. If you're sending Bruno to fund another move, it's a different story. Take out Gakpo and Moyes for Visser and Slot for a hit. Any other thoughts, or just switch to Emery? No, I like that. I quite like that. Even better if you can do Gakpo to Watkins and Moyes to Slot, but I doubt you can. Stranger Man, 42 months, thank you. Start one of Enzo, Mikalenko or Munoz. I think I'd be tempted to go Munoz. I really would. My gut feeling is I triple captain over assistant manager this week. But it's a really tight call. I think I'd just be eyeing up that double-double later on, 32-33. Start Visser or Semenyo. Semenyo probably. Mikalenko to Kirk is -4. I'd just play Mikalenko. If you're wildcarding 30 or 31, are you free hit 29? No, free hit 34. Triple Bournemouth, yeah, viable for sure. Lewis Hall and Gakpo out for Howson and Visser plus Slot for -4. Yeah, I quite like that. Which two to start? Isak, Mbermo, Semenyo. I would bench probably Mbermo. Start Castagna or Howson. I'd probably start Howson. Like, it's close because Castagna's at home, but I think you just take the Southampton fixture, and Howson's no slouch from set pieces either. Matt, thank you. I'd probably play Timber over Munoz, but again, that is quite close because Munoz is just so attacking. His goal threat is really... Like, I think it's fine if you want to play Munoz ahead of Timber. Double Game Week 32 announced 1 minute after I sold Gordon and Lewis Hall. Honestly, I don't think it makes a difference. Does them playing in 32 over 33 make much difference to your transfers this week? Probably not. I think it maybe changes chip strategy, like in terms of triple captain, assistant manager, but for transfers, I don't think it really changes anything. Gakpo to Visser and Slot. Yes, I like it. Yeah, I've seen that Man City news. What's this news about Ahmad? There's no news. There's just Ruben Amorim said that somebody is ill, but he didn't say who. I think he said that anyway. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Use the system manager this week on Emery or leave it for later. If you're not using any other chips, the problem is, right, you got that double-double, 32-33, but you might want to bench boost in 33. And there might not be a better time to do it. I don't like the 26 options all that much. I don't know. I'd be tempted to leave it, but you really might get into a position where there's not enough double game weeks to use all your chips. That's the problem. And if you've still got like bench boost, free hit, wildcard, and triple captain, I think you've got to use something this week. Have Gakpo and Moyes one free transfer. What to do? I would probably take a hit and get a slot if you can in a good way. Should I triple captain or hold it? I would definitely triple captain this week. Like, I guess what are you saving it for? There's not. I don't think there's much better than Salah this week, apart from maybe Salah last week. Isak and Sarr to Watkins and which Bournemouth. Clivert, Pickford, Gakpo to Jorgensen, Watkins. As long as Jorgensen keeps his place, that's probably fine. I always worry a little bit when a manager switches goalkeepers halfway through a season. Like, is he then going to be willing to switch back if it goes wrong? The only thing I would say is, by the time it potentially goes wrong, you'll probably be wildcarding anyway. So I think Jorgensen's probably fine, but there has to be some risk there. I think Watkins is more likely to start against Ipswich than not, but that's about as confident as you're going to get from me. Squad value is really bad with the assistant managership active. Yeah, but luckily it'll be gone soon, right? And then we'll have our cash back. Start Sells or Pickford and start Hall or Robinson. Sells or Pickford and start Hall or Robinson. Sells, I think, just about, and Robinson for sure. Diaz to Rogers and Enzo to an AM on slot. I don't think I would want to sell Diaz. I'd be tempted just to go Moyes to Emery in that case. I think keeping Diaz is fine. I think those moves are fine, by the way, that you're suggesting. If you want to do it, you should do it. But I quite like the idea of holding Diaz with the Gakpo news. Got Isak, slanking Gakpo to Watkins and Beto. Less than 6 million. Yeah, the only other player I would consider is Raul Jimenez. But yeah, that seems absolutely fine to me. Isak and Njai to Watkins and Visser for a hit. I'm not sure about Isak to Watkins for a hit, but Njai to Visser seems pretty good. Start Jimenez or use a free transfer to go Gordon to retire. I think you can just start Jimenez. Gakpo to Visser as part of a -4 to get slot. Or also do Sarr to Utara -8 and get Cunha and play him instead of Visser. I wouldn't play Cunha ahead of Visser this week. Start Munoz or Robinson. Munoz. Sell Isak or Gakpo to Watkins or Roll. I think I'd prefer to sell Gakpo out of the two instead of rolling. What do you think of this as a wild card? Kepa, Van Dijk. Oh, I tell you now, I've not looked at wild card this week at all. Kepa good, Van Dijk good, Trent good, Luka Dean okay, Utara good, Palmer good, Salah good, Clivert good, Rogers good, Watkins good, Isak good. Seems pretty good. But obviously you're gonna have lots of players blanking in 29. Like all 3 Villa, all 3 Liverpool. That's the only thing I would say. So you either need a lot of transfers to deal with it, or you need to free hit in 29. Hard to believe that more people have transferred Wood over Watkins. I don't think it's not that hard to believe. I don't think, because he scored a hat trick, and also Watkins has been a bit of a doubt, right? And he's more expensive, so he's harder to get to. Right, less than 10 minutes. I've got to make my transfers very soon. Let me just find where's. What kind of sociopath wildcards 10 minutes to deadline in a double game week? I'm sure they've been thinking about it a little bit. For a -4, Gordon, Njai, João Pedro, Colwill to Rogers, Watkins, Beto, Greaves. Most of those players you're selling seem absolutely fine to me. I'm not sure about picking up Greaves now, but he's okay. Gordon to Clive or Gordon and Njai to Wanyeri and Watkins -4. I'd probably get Watkins, I think. I mean, Clive and Visser's quite nice, but I think Gordon and Njai, I would take the hit, I think. I'd be tempted to go the double game week route and just hope for the best. It's going to be so annoying if Watkins doesn't start. Start Mikolenko or Carl will also have Pickford. Mikolenko for me. Would you have done Njai to Mateta if you had the money? I mean, I'm going to have the money when I sell Eze, and I'm going to get Watkins instead. The problem with for my team with buying Mateta is I'm not free hitting in 29, so I'm just adding another blank player. I guess I'm doing the same with Watkins, but he's got a double, so it feels a little bit more justifiable. Isak to Watkins, Moyes to Emery, -4. Isak to Watkins, Moyes to Emery. Or Gakpo to Visser and Slot. I think I'd prefer to go Gakpo to Visser and Slot, just about. Yeah, I need to make my changes. I think I'm buying Wanyeri. Is that stupid? Do I buy... We should do a captain poll, by the way. Do I buy Wanyeri or do I take a hit to get... a hit to get Utara? Wanyeri's minutes have been horrible, even with all the injuries. Well, hang on a second. Havertz has only just got injured. That's a good point, though, actually. What was the lineup against Newcastle? Oh, it was Martinelli, yeah. Martinelli's injured now, though. Like, literally, 2 of the front 3 against Newcastle are now injured. Who else is he going to pick? I forgot that Martinelli only just got injured. Exactly. Who else is going to play? Don't put doubts in my mind this late on. Yeah, Trossard's going to play, but you need another 2 players, right? Start Flecken or Pickford? Pickford, I think. Bench 1, Visser, Isak, Wood or Rogers? Visser. Best I make my moves. Do I have to? Calafiori used to play striker. Maybe he'll play there. I really just think it's probably going to be Sterling, Trossard, Wanyeri. Now, that seems the most obvious play, right? Trossard's played number 9 before. Yeah, Wanyeri might play striker, I guess. I think whatever happens, Wanyeri plays. Like, Wanyeri's ahead of Sterling, surely. The only thing to say for anyone that's considering Wanyeri, he's only 17, he's 18 soon. Like, the idea that he just comes straight in and plays 90 minutes every week, it might not happen, right? Arteta might look to protect him. Or he might just run him into the ground like Saka. You don't know, right? Benching... get Wanyeri and flip off the haters with point. I don't think anyone's hating on it. And I don't think I'll be able to do that because Bournemouth midfielders will almost certainly outscore him. Benching Palmer for Clive. Oh, I don't think I would do that, but I also kind of get it. Do the hit, you will regret Wanyeri in 2 weeks. Maybe. But when I get the money back from Slot, I can do João Pedro to Cunha. And I can do Rogers to a Bournemouth midfielder. So I can almost bench Wanyeri later on. I feel like I've not thought about it enough. For such a big move for my team, I could have probably thought about it a little bit more. Uh, 4 minutes, get going. Yeah, I should probably think about it a little bit more than I have. Get Wanyeri in, bench João Pedro. I can even bench Wanyeri next week. I'm going to do it. It's not the kind of move I usually make. Maybe I'll do something a little bit different. If I could afford Utara instead of Wanyeri, I would do it, by the way. 100%. Don't put any more super chats in now because I'm going to make my moves. Isak to Watkins for a -4. I only have 3 double game week players. 3 double game week players. I'm not sure I would do Isak to Watkins for a -4. If you want to do it, it's not terrible. I'm not sure I would do it. Start Visser or Ahmad Visser. Yeah, I'm going to do it, I think. I haven't... If I do the... Let's say... I'm just looking at it now. Let's say I do... I shouldn't be looking at it this late. I do like the idea of just getting Utara, honestly. And just get... The thing is, if I do the Beto... If I do João Pedro to Beto... which I've got exact money for... Next week I can't get a Bournemouth fielder for Rodgers. And then I've got... No, I think Wanyeri's the move. I think Wanyeri's the move. Oh, this is going to be so horrible. Like, Kluivert, Semenyo... Kluivert, Semenyo and Utara are going to absolutely smash Wanyeri, and I'm just going to look like an idiot. I can just... I swear sometimes FPL would be easier if I didn't make videos. I could just make my moves and not have to worry about the consequences. Exact money. Exact money. If you're stressed about FPL, your life is good. You can be stressed about more things at once. Server down. Eze, Njai, Wanyeri, Watkins. How's that for a server down? I'm still going to vice captain Trent, I think. Right, let's hope that Wanyeri outscores Bournemouth midfielders. It seems very unlikely. Done. My deadline timer is off. I don't think it is. See, okay, so this is going to be the plan. If João Pedro plays Chelsea and he plays well, then I'll play him against Southampton. If not, I'm going to do Rodgers to Utara next week, which I can now afford, and I'll just play Wanyeri against West Ham at home. When does backing a 17-year-old ever go wrong? You don't win anything with kids. We know that. But who knows? This might be the time. I don't think I've ever seen Andy make a transfer and not be like, what have I done? I'm not sure I'm always like that. I don't think that's fair. Maybe you just haven't watched for very long. Quite often, I'm pretty calm about my moves. I think I go through there's various periods of FPL where I'm quite confident in what I'm doing and times where I'm not quite sure. But actually, I quite like this move. The fact that I can go from Njai to Watkins is pretty nice. I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. Do you know why I'm like... Hang on, sorry, I just need to... I've just noticed there's only 40 seconds to the deadline, so I want to make sure I'm locked in. By the way, I'm vice-captaining Trent and not Watkins because Watkins is like ever so slight risk. But I guess Trenton is Salah's going to play. Stop freaking worrying about nothing. You always worry about your moves. I disagree. I disagree completely. I don't always worry. Yeah, Eze could do... I think Eze's good for the next 4 weeks, by the way. Yeah, Rodgers vice-captain, maybe. Salah's going to play. It's not a problem. This is what I was telling myself earlier when I was thinking about this move. Okay, I don't have any Bournemouth midfielders, but even if I did have one instead of Wanyeri, I might have the wrong one. All right? If I've got Semenyo and Kluivert and Utara go and smash it, it doesn't matter, does it? There we go. We're locked in. We're locked in. I don't always think I've made the wrong move. Relax. Relax. That's fake news. We're locked in, by the way. It's another Friday deadline next week. Should be less chaotic. I don't think there's going to be another double game week announcement next week. I'm just having a look at Sleeper for game week 24, by the way. Didn't actually check it before the stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it now. Great stream. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope that video is doing well that we did. Okay, I'm going to do the Sleeper draw now. Ewan, what are you on about? Merrick, huh? Random name generator. I'm I'm going to do the draw for Game Week 24 on Sleeper. Make sure to get your picks submitted for this week, by the way. Link in the description below. FC, M. Raiden. Oh, M. Raid Ent 7. Rem. Zig. EJ Hall 14. That's it. So there's only a few people that got 7. Yeah, no Cliver. I couldn't afford it, basically. I wish I could. Right. Let me just go to this. This is the random draw. This is for the Game Week 24 draw, £50 voucher on Sleeper. M. Radiant 7. I'm going to message you after this stream on Sleeper asking for your email address to send you the voucher. So congratulations. If you want to get involved for Game Week 25, there is a link in the description below. Just download Sleeper, join the Let's Talk FPL Pick and Mini League and get your predictions submitted. All right. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. It's nice to spend a Valentine's Day with you guys. Valentine's night / early evening. Right, anything else we've got to talk about? My gaming streams on Twitch. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to stream. I keep overthinking it. What will I stream? What if I'm terrible at this game? Who the hell still has João Pedro? Me, unfortunately. Yeah. FIFA. I've tried FIFA before. Like, people who've been watching me for a while will have watched. Some of you will have probably watched a FIFA stream of mine. I usually stream FIFA like once or twice every year, and then I just get sick of it. I just can't ever keep it up. Stream Rocket League. I don't think I've ever really played that, to be honest. Yeah, do you know what? I can't. What's the word? I can't take my own advice. If someone had said to me, I want to start streaming on Twitch, I'd say just freaking stream. Doesn't matter what you do. No one's going to watch anyway. But I don't know. There's part of me, like, because I already do this YouTube channel, I feel like I've got to have everything set up perfectly for anything new. Like, if I just play like a story game, are people going to watch that? If I play Call of Duty, which I enjoy playing, like, I'm rubbish at it. I'm not like one of those people that's going to go and win every game. Anyway, couldn't get myself to do that for Watkins. Get a disaster keeper. I think, honestly, in your situation, I think it's fine. Like, the one thing I think people... By the way, Red Dead Redemption 2, I really want to start that again, because I did start it at one point, and then I didn't finish it. I feel like I've got to start it again. I want to get it on digital. I've got the disc, but I think I can sell the disc and get it digital. Anyway, why no Blue Sky? I need an app that basically, when I post something to Twitter, it automatically posts it to Blue Sky. I just can't be bothered to put it on Twitter and then copy and paste it to Blue Sky all the time. That's it, basically. And I can't really see any... I'm not going to get into it, but I'm not coming off Twitter anytime soon, I don't think. Not like you're good at FPL. That is true. That is true. Anyway, sorry. What I was going to say was to Alex's thing about him not getting Watkins. Like, I think sometimes with FPL, people they don't give enough credit to the fact that what one team doesn't mean it's best for another team. Like, I know that sounds really obvious, but people sometimes just don't get it. Like, if you had the choice, money-wise, to go for a Bournemouth midfielder, it made absolute sense to get them over Nwaneri. But for my team, I'm not sure it made massive sense to take the hit. So that's why I've got Nwaneri. But if someone said to me, should I get Nwaneri or Utara? I'd definitely say Utara. Red Dead's on Game Pass. Oh, interesting. I've just bought Game Pass for... The thing is, I don't want to buy Call of Duty on PlayStation when I can just pay £11 a month and get it on PC. Football Manager I could maybe do because it's a bit more chilled and relaxed. FIFA, yeah. Okay, so let me just clarify, right? I'm not saying that I never regret my moves straight away, or at least not that I regret them, but that I'm not sure what I'm doing. And maybe it has happened quite a lot this season, but it's not every single stream. Am I planning on getting Cunha in? Possibly. I think Wanyeri has left the route open for Cunha. I think if I'd gone the Beto Watkins route, it won't. So maybe. Yeah, Football Manager, I know. No, it's not. It's not coming out in March, though, is it? But the next one will be like November, so maybe then. In Kunku, I'm not sure about. I want to see a few Chelsea games. I'm not convinced he definitely plays as their number 9. I think it's a good chance, but not guaranteed. Give Baldur's Gate a go. Best game I've played in years. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe I'll start Red Dead. The problem is, if I start Red Dead and start streaming it, people will just spoil it. You're the only reason I go on Twitter. If you move to Blue Sky, I'll follow. I'm on Blue Sky. I just haven't posted there that regularly. The other problem is you can post longer tweets on Twitter, and sometimes if I go over the word limit, it means I've got to cut the tweet down on Blue Sky. Maybe I just start posting screenshots on Blue Sky instead. Stream movie reactions live. Will I ever start making Champions League fantasy videos? I don't know. Maybe. Oh no, Elden Ring. I'm terrible with those kind of games. Like I tend to play story games on like easy, if I'm honest. That's another thing that people would hate on stream. Andy happy with his last minute selections 42%. Andy immediately regretting his last minute decisions 58%. I'm happy this week, honestly. I think I made an okay decision this week. Fish Tank, I'm not sure if you're trolling, but Football Manager announced that there's no FM25 in March. They've canned it. When is the next second channel video coming? I don't know. Honestly, do you know what I need? All right, I've been thinking about this. And before everyone says I can do that, I'm not actually going to get one, but because I don't know what I want to do. But I almost need like I almost need like a producer, like a channel manager, just to say, this is what you're doing on your second channel, this is what content you need to do, this is what the title is, this is what the thumbnail is, you just record it, we'll edit it. Job done. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Sims. No chance. No, not watch longs. Ideally, I want to stream during the week, during the day when I got spare time. Use AI as your producer. No, Fish Tank, I hate to break it to you, but there is no FM25. They've canned it. It was announced sometime last week. I'd like Elden Ring. I think it's better to watch new players than good players. Yeah, I'm really bad at those games. Oh, GTA 6, definitely, but that's everyone's going to stream that. I could have gone Wanyeri instead of retired to get Watkins, but really not that convinced. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I don't really see a world where Wanyeri's minutes aren't quite good. But we'll see. How much am I paying for this producer? Don't know. Become Jake Paul and do vlogs in LA. Try streaming VR games. Yeah. Really, I should just start. You can work, like, it's not like I'm going to suddenly have tons of viewers, so I should just start. We'll see. We'll see. I should just start and then worry about the rest later, but I can't get out of my own way. I like Ark Survival. It's like a prehistoric GTA 6. I've heard of that game. Actually, I looked at Ready or Not, but it didn't run very well on my computer. I need a new computer, but it's difficult to get graphics cards right now. Life advice, as you have the dad effect on people. I don't think I can give life advice. 450k subs anytime soon, maybe before the end of the season. I've never watched Squid Game. Yeah, Alex, you're right, but I'm just a terrible person. Anyway, you are right. I just haven't got right. Like honestly, not every day, but like at least like 2 or 3 days during the week, Like maybe like in the afternoon, I've got a bit of free time or I want to do something. Did you have Pedro to Watkins and Bruno to Utah? Trying to convince myself benching Vissa for Watkins was the right move. If you've got Watkins, it was the right move. You could argue that you shouldn't have bought in Watkins just to bench Vissa, but I really don't think it's that bad. What do you think about Kirkes? He's good. You missed the deadline. Ouch. Right, I've got to go. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure to give the stream a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already for whoever's left watching. Good luck in Game Week 25. I will be doing a Sunday stream this week as well, by the way. I know I've missed the last couple, but that was just out of my control. Oi, Gamer Riot, motivate Andy to start a gaming channel. Like if I start streaming, the thing is, if you start streaming, you got to do like all the clips on Shorts, YouTube channel. I need someone to help me with that, but I don't quite know what I want to do. Anyway, I'm off. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you again on Sunday.